Hello my dear sewing friends, it's Alisa here and welcome back to another episode of Made from Scraps, but this time Halloween edition. Now if you haven't seen previous episodes of this series, I highly recommend that you check them out. Hopefully you will gain a lot of inspiration and different creative uses of those fabric scraps, and I will leave those episodes in the description of this video. But today I have my little helper with me because this Halloween costume is going to be for her, and it just so happens that she chose the most suitable Halloween costume for using up fabric scraps, and I swear I had no part in this decision. She came to it all by herself, and she wants to be Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. That's right. So if I take this project, this mission that we're on, and if I really pare it down, in the essence it's just an A-line dress, right? So nothing too difficult, but the whole focus, the whole attention here is on those little pieces of fabric, those details that the dress is made from, and how it looks at the very end. So I'm going to start with a relaxed fit bodice block that I have drafted for my daughter and the sleeve block that goes with it. I'm going to lengthen that, and then I will turn it into an A-line dress. And of course, for some inspiration and reference pictures, I did a quick Google search, and to my surprise, all I could find was just a bunch of really colorful Sally dresses, which looks really different from the original that we saw in the movie, which my daughter is a huge fan of, hence why she wants to go as Sally for this Halloween. So I felt that this was my duty and absolute must to ask her which one she actually prefers more, the colorful version or the original version. So she looked at it and she said, I want it to look just like in the movies. Alright, so the first thing that I have to do here is to divide this dress into those segments that I see on Sally's dress. Now overall, not a biggie, but because this dress is so much smaller than Sally's dress, it might be a little bit challenging to divide it into those sections proportionately, so that way we still get the same look. So we'll see how it all turns out here in just a few moments. Alright, the pattern is done, and now let's dig into the fabric scraps. Okay, so the next step would be to create those swirls and patterns and designs on these fabric pieces, because after the dress is assembled, that would be pretty difficult to do. And as of right now, I'm not exactly sure how am I going to do that, but I'm pretty sure that between fabric markers and Sharpies and whatever else, I will make it work. I also thought that this could be a great opportunity to ask my little helper for a little bit of assistance. So I did the swirls and the lines, and then she did the dots and dashes. After that, the next step was to sew on some of these circles onto the middle part of the dress. Once those details are done, now it's time to put this all together. And that's one of the reasons why I was carefully marking each of the pattern pieces, because otherwise, right now, it would have been a really huge mess. That's sort of the name of the game when you're working with fabric scraps. So I have created the front panel, well, more or less, because we still have to add those fake stitches and a couple of things here and there. I'm gonna ask my little assistant here to help me out with that, but more or less it's done. Now onto the back panel, and Here, I'm thinking to make my life a little bit easier and just put it together as is without adding all of the bells and whistles, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Fast forward 10 minutes and the back pattern piece is done. Now I can actually put the front and the back together and start working on the final stitches. But before that, I do have to adjust the neckline to be V-neck, and then I also have to de-stress it. Then I will place the front and the back right sides together and sew them at the shoulder seams and the side seams. After that come the sleeves. Sleeves need to be distressed as well, so that's what I'm doing right over here. It kind of seems a little bit counterintuitive to ruin fabric this way, but that's what the costume calls for. But in my heart, I'm cringing a little bit on the inside because obviously when we're sewing garments, this is the last thing that you want to happen to your fabric. But in this case, it's a little bit different. Speaking of de-stressing, I also have to do the same thing on the bottom of the dress. To bring the outfit all together, I had to sacrifice a little bit of the striped jersey fabric so that way we can make the leg warmers that Sally has. And as a very final touch, my little helper did some final stitches on the front of the dress. Of course, adding some face paint and those big lashes and those stitches that Sally had in the movie was an absolute must, but please don't judge too harshly because I managed to get sick throughout the entire week of Halloween. I lost my voice, I'm still recovering, so I didn't do my best job, but as my little one was walking downtown for trick-or-treating, there was another little kid who looked at her and he was like, "Oh, Sally!" So I guess she was recognizable, and if so, that must mean that we did okay. I always encourage people to involve their kids in projects like these because it gives them not only the creativity and the means to express themselves, but also the confidence of doing and making, and it also makes for a really fun bonding time, that one-on-one time that so many of us are struggling to find. So if you have your own kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, or any other kids in your life, try it. You will see how expressive and how creative they are. And if you want to see another project, actually a jacket that I made from more than 50 little fabric pieces, then click right over here. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and happy sewing. Bye!